Good evening, snipers. I hope you all had an amazing long weekend. Obviously, happy Easter to all that who celebrate as well. I had a trip to Kansas City, was great. Going back to Midwest where I started off my career in United States. But irrespective, I just wanted to talk about a lot of charts today, look at some pivotal points where you would want to look for certain stocks in going into the earning season. Uh, talk about SPY, QQQ, and IWM. Not much of IWM, but SPY and QQQ. Then we'll talk about our core list of companies that we usually trade, and also certain companies that I'm really liking at the moment, along with Bitcoin. And we'll wrap up our call with that. Firstly, let me quickly go into. All right. Here, we talked about SPY. We talked about SPY a few weeks back also, where we were talking about how this was the 22 low. Then we had the 20 low, 22 low, 23 low. And exactly like if you zoom in also, like some of you asked me, oh, you know what? It undercut. It went below. How did it not trigger stop losses or anything like that for you? Look at what happened in 22. It undercut it. This always happens, right? Like these are not like hard set of lines. This is mostly the regions that you want to look for when you're adding stock or when you're looking for a long-term investment. This is where in 22 you hit that level and we bounced. In 23 we hit that level and we bounced. And something that you also want to look for also, like when I draw these horizontal levels, right? Like you can clearly see something here, which is basically, see, this was the 22. This was the 22, actually 21 high, I think. Yeah, 21 high before we had that big drawdown, right? Like in on into 22, where we had the 25% drawdown. The whole market ran right back up, back at 2023. We saw that level being retested, flagging here, and then we just ran, right? We just kept running. And after we broke out, right, like when a resistance has turned into a support, you want to retest it, you want to see what has happened, you want to see if that is a strong level to hold as well. And that's exactly what happened in 2025. Is, yes, this trend line, the level right there, everything kind of coincided to create this huge bounce. This was the 90-day pause bounce that Trump has talked about, and the market had a huge bounce. I mean, are we talking technicals here? Are we talking news here? I mean, everything just kind of goes hand in hand at some point, right? And that is exactly where we bounce, which is very, very interesting. And I had a few people tell me that they have added spies right around here at around 485, 480, which is amazing. Uh, but overall, again, the market kind of had a nice bounce, but obviously closed in the red again last week. But we held this crucial 525 level. Just like how resistances which turned as supports have to be retested, supports that have been broken down have to be retested as well. And that is exactly what I'm thinking will happen at 565 retest, where we retest that 565, where the 20 EMA also is curling down. This is the area where I believe the market is going to retest and head right back down for another retest of 525 or lower, is something that I'm thinking. Like, how many days would it take for that to happen? Given the market volatility, it can happen this week, or it can happen for a couple of weeks. When I do analysis on a weekly chart, it usually is for that particular month, is how I kind of take it. So that is a price action that I'm expecting as well. Just like how we drew a trend line, which which has helped with that long-term analysis. I think there's a trend line here on the upside as well. I have not drawn it. I'm just like looking at it, and I see that there's a possibility that we can see. Okay, there you go. It is a valid trend line. I'm going to leave this trend line right here, but that is a valid trend line as well. Look at that on the weekly time frame. Like it looks clean, right? It looks very clean. From the all-time highs, every single time we hit that trend line, we have smashed right back down. And this trend line is surprisingly also coinciding with the 9 EMA on the weekly time frame, which will act as resistance. So we have to see this trend line break, then we see a peekaboo setup on the weekly. That is where things can start to get a lot more bullish. But without the China news coming out, with some kind of a deal or talks going on between United States and China, I don't think that trend line will break. So keep an eye out for that trend line. It's a very important trend line here that I'm just noticing right here on the call. Like it looks pretty clean, and that is where you want to be long, and also look for 582, 600 again. If this upper trend line kind of breaks, so keep this upper trend line on watch. Don't let go of it. Every week keep it on watch. When we get closer to this at around 550-ish on the daily, look for some kind of resistance to pull the market right back down. So keep that level on watch. That's an important trend line. It looks really good here, so keep it on watch here on SPY. Going back to the 65-minute chart, this is the chart that we use for trading per se, right? Like on a day-to-day basis, on an intraday level basis. Um, let's look into the trend, right? Like firstly, the trend. This is a good looking trend. Like let me see, where's my marker? There you go. All right, this is a good looking trend. This is an equal high. This looks like an equal high, and then we had a lower low. I mean, this was a low, this was a higher low, and this is what kind of propelled the market. We have a similar situation again here with an equal high and a higher low kind of forming, I feel, unless and until like we just go right back under this particular low, which would indicate a bearish sign. uh, Sorry, I don't know why my tongue is. I think I have a fat tongue right now, because of all the barbecue I ate in Midwest. But but anyway, it's a yeah, I mean, we'll have to see where we open. Obviously, tomorrow with all the news flying around, I just don't want to predict where we open. See where we open. If we see a lower low kind of open, that would be indication of we staying away from longs and wait for that price bounce to show us any kind of bullish signal. But it would be short the pop kind of scenario tomorrow. Like any kind of up move would just bring a downside volume again. But like if we don't see that, if we do see a move towards like 515 or 514, this is where we open. I think we might head right back up, creating like a higher low kind of scenario and going up. Technically speaking, I definitely don't want to lose this particular low, which is the 520. I don't want to lose. I don't want SPY to lose that or open under that, because right now it looks nice, where we have the higher lows, clean higher lows. We don't have higher highs per se, but we had equal highs. We had equal highs again, and if we do see something around here like 524 kind of open, and then like we head right back up, that would be a great sign to play the upside. But if it does open under 520, I would not be as comfortable. I want to be away from the market. Like I've told you this, like don't force a trade. Forcing a trade is more expensive than waiting for the right trade, or not missing an opportunity. Missing an opportunity is totally free. But yeah, if you are in the wrong trade, you may lose a lot of money. And if that 520 breaches and we open under 520 tomorrow morning, that is going to be a little bit of a hassle for me to say, let's see what the market does kind of scenario for me at that point. But I definitely would love to see an open above 524. That would be a great sign, because you had your previous highs there, and then a bounce. This particular area would act as support. But anything under 520, I would be a little bit more cautious. I would be a lot more cautious than losing 524. So keep an eye out for that level there on SPY, or for your intraday kind of trading to, or that's the level that you want to stay away from, if you are like biased to the long side or the short side or something like that, and wait for the right direction to play it. So that's mostly what I have on SPY. Next one is QQQ. I do want to talk about Bitcoin though. These are like these stocks and indices are doing okay, but like Bitcoin is the one that's holding really well. But anyway, do we have a similar trend line? Let's go to the weekly time frame. Just look at the weekly time frame as well. Again, 23 low. So let's go and see. This is the 20 low. So ah, that's a lot. Like if we look into the 20 low, there's like a lot of drop that's possible on QQQ, honestly. uh yeah, there's like huge drops that are possible, but we did have this trend line that we drew like a few weeks back. This was 22 low, 23 low, this was 24 low. All of these kind of broke down and we retested it, and then we just kept going down. There's nothing like really stopping QQQ from that trickle down. But right now, to get back bullish, or like you want to like look for that all-time highs again, you definitely want this trend line to be recaptured. Until and unless that trend line is recaptured, I wouldn't be as interested in the long side per se, or to pick up those leaps or anything like that. um, I've had so many people ask me about leveraging their positions, like getting leaps, getting swings, getting this, getting that. See, like when the market is like this, you don't want to be in leverages. The worst that if you have itchy hands, if you do really want to invest or park your money somewhere, buy shares, sell covered calls every single week, make your money work for you. So that is what I would do. I would not get into leverages, especially options or leveraged ETFs. I would not get into them. So just something that I'm not comfortable doing when the market is broken down like this per se. But overall, like, let me also draw a trend line from the 22 low. This one, oh, okay. That's the one that we drew. Never mind. That's something that I don't have to really care about that. This also, like when you look for that 2021 high, right? Like the same thing with SPY. This is very interesting. That the horizontal pivots have really worked out. Like 20 to 21 high, exactly there where everybody stepped in and the market just boomed. So this is very interesting. The day this level kind of breaks down, we are going back all the way down to like uh, wow. There's I'm not even kidding. Like there's nothing much until like 300 on QQQ. There's something at 330, but 300 is the level that goes under there. So it is very very interesting, and it is something that this is a level that really held well and had that huge bounce. But again, if you are looking for the news, China, USA starting to talk and having some truce on trade is what will start to help QQQ or SPY in any manner possible. So keep an eye out for that. And this trend line here has to be recaptured for me to look into leverages again on QQQ. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay away from QQQ. Next one is Bitcoin, which is something that I really like, and I'm watching it very carefully too. Like this is the reason why I bought MSTU. Obviously, our contracts got, I mean, our shares got called off, but I'll buy them again. You'll see how I'll keep milking this 100K position over and over again. It's shares, so you can have a set stop loss at 15,000 or 25,000, and 25% down, and you can probably play it. But I definitely would want to hold it. I'm not going to look into the weekly. I'm going to look into the daily. This is where we hit the all-time high, and then it has been continuously dropping. But this time around, this is something that is very, very interesting to me. Is this was a fake out. This one here on April 1st was absolutely a fake out. Like it made a fool out of us. But So sorry. But finally, we broke out of the trend. We broke out of this particular trend here, and we are flagging. Look at this range. This is a great compression that's happening on on Bitcoin. And once that 86,500 breaks, this is it is absolutely going like so. So this is the box theory I talked to you about like many times, right? Like this is one of the methods that I teach you, where like when you have a box like this, right, like when you have a box like that, the compression like that, what is the measured move of the box? I'm not bullish or biased to the upside, but the measured move of this particular compression is basically double the box, which here it's just 6,000 range, so you get a 12,000 range here, right? A 16,500 or 17,000 plus 12,000 goes all the way up to 1995. So sorry, plus 12,000. Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, 99 actually. So it's almost going to 100K. That's exactly where we would get if 86,500 would be breached on Bitcoin. And anything to the downside, I would probably look for like 79 again. But right now it's holding really really well. Like look at Bitcoin. I didn't even see the price over the weekend, but 80,000, 85,000, 85,300 again, and it's like flagging around that 86,500 level. Once that breaches, I think MSTR is one of the positions that I'll take a big position on our small account challenge as well, and let you know the number of contracts that I take. But overall, like Bitcoin is holding really really well. Having said that, I'll also segue into MSTR and then the other stocks as well, where MSTR, look at that chart, look at that, very, very beautiful. Again, it broke out, like, flagged again, trying to break out again. 322 breaks, 350 and 385. These are your two levels to the upside. I'm looking for this 322 break. I think we hit it on Friday too, right? Right? Like we hit 320. Yeah. So I'm giving you a rough idea. Around 320 is where I will be very, very interested in MSTR, and I will be looking to play the upside with 330 calls or 335 calls this week. So keep an eye out for that on MSTR and on Bitcoin 86,500. That is a level that will really help out the move to the upside here on MSTR and Bitcoin. So keep an eye out for these two stocks. MSTR 335 calls, 340 calls, or 350 calls. These are the three that I'll be looking out for. I want to look for something that is cheaper for the small account. So I'll be going a little bit more out the money, but we'll see what to do. My small account right now it's only at 9,200, so I'm still on a cash account. But once it hits 25,000, I'll probably look for making spreads and things like that, and making it a little bit more uh, uh, you know amazing for you to like play it with a margin account. So right now it's a small account. It's still a cash account. So I would want you to like focus on taking those far out the money. Like I'm not saying ridiculously far out the money, right? Like you want to be within measured move kind of range. So but cheaper contracts, and we'll probably play that. It's been a challenge to find these cheaper contracts, but we've been doing absolutely amazing even in this type of market. So make sure you have MSTR on watch this week. That's one of my top charts this week as well. So keep an eye out for that on MSTR. Next one, I'll talk about as many charts as possible right now in the next 10-15 minutes. Look for similar setups, what I'm looking for here, and things like that. This should be 196.50, 198.50. I don't know who changed that, but Fluid has been using my account, and I don't know what she's trying to do. But anyway, I don't like this trend line here also. But yeah, Apple inside day on Friday, 198.50. I'll be probably looking for some 200 calls on it. 207 is a huge level on Apple, like here also down. So yeah, 198.50 kind of breaks. I'm looking for like 207 retest again on Apple. Look for that 198.50 break, nice little compression. Anything under 192, I'll probably place a 190 puts here on Apple. So keep an eye out for that. Lower volumes here, last 4 or 5 days, but we'll see how it kind of acts and reacts at 198.50. So keep an eye out for that. Bitcoin actually bounced 200 more points while we are talking. Anyway, that's mostly about Apple. 198.50 and 192. These are your two levels that you should be looking for on Apple. The first retest would be the 20 EMA on the daily at around 204, 205, and then there's 207. 207 is a much bigger resistance here on Apple. Once that breaks, you'll probably look for a play for 215 to 220 calls a couple of weeks out. Obviously, earnings are also coming out, so you want to keep an eye out for these two levels, 192, 198.50. These are two levels that you want to look for on Apple this week. Next one is Amazon. Amazon, um weird strength and weaknesses on Amazon. Honestly, like this is very weak on Thursday and Friday for some reason, and it absolutely dropped off. It looked very, very nice with this double inside candle actually going into the week, and then after that, this is where I actually thought we would be breaking this 186.50 and jumping over 190 plus, or retesting this trend line where I could switch back into puts, but prematurely kind of dropped off here on Amazon, and we are back at that 175, 173 levels with a lot of call volume still in position for Amazon this week. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know if we are going to bounce again an inside day. A lot of inside days again, as we had on SPY and QQQ on the weekly and also on the daily. So there's quite a bit of move that is possible here. Like, I don't have a level that I would be looking for to play on Amazon. I would probably stay away from it right this week. But if we do see like a huge move on the tech, this is one of those stocks which has very deflated IV on the options premium. So this is something that I'll be looking out for on the small account as well. So keep an eye out for that on Amazon. 175 calls is something that I'm a little bit more interested here. God, I hate these. I just hate. I don't think we need the 175. Uh, I hate. Yeah. Anyway, I hate having those. Like anything like 119.88. Like these are the numbers that I kind of hate. Like it just makes me not remember these numbers. So I just have like round numbers, and I should probably let Fluid know a little bit about having those. Anyway, um, this is something that I'll be looking out for. 175 calls to 178 and 183 as your targets to the upside. If all of tech is rolling up, and and you see XLY showing some strength. XLY, basically consumer discretionary, is a risk on sentiment indicator, and with Tesla going up on the having earnings on Tuesday, probably something to look out for as well on XLY. But we'll see how Amazon kind of works out here towards the upside to play the 175 calls or probably the 180 calls based on how and where we open. On the weekly time frame, also, I feel this is one of the good areas to uh, look for. Nah, nothing's really. This is a long, because yeah, this is actually going to the lower end of range. So 152. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the range that this was a range bound action that Amazon had for a few years actually, from 2020 all the way to 2022. Um, and this is something that it does all the time, right? Look at this. 2018 to 2020, this was the time where this was somewhere I sold. This was somewhere I sold Amazon back in the day, and then it ravaged, and then it was stagnant for quite some time. When it ran, it actually retested this stagnant area again, right here in 2020, and then got stagnant again, dipped, ran up, and then now it's retesting that area. So this is a good value area, I would say. 150 puts, sell it. I would probably sell some 150 puts on Amazon. We already sold off our Amazon shares, if you remember, from earlier from this year. The ones that we bought in 22, um, like, yeah, I would probably sell some 150 puts this week. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Probably 150 puts for July or June, July or so. I wouldn't mind getting a sign on shares because this is the lower end of range, and then that was the range that acted as resistance in 22. Then went down, went right back up. See, it's the same level, that 145 to 150 level. So yeah, I'll probably look for that 150 puts here on Amazon. I don't see much lower on this, under 150. So keep an eye out for that on Amazon. But on the daily, for this week, I'll be looking for like 175 calls. I won't be looking for much of a downside here on Amazon until and unless that 170 is broken. But like, one of those stocks that I don't like trading as much on my main because it moves like a snail. So keep an eye out for that on Amazon. um AVGO, lot of strength on Thursday, but then it fizzled up on Friday again. So keep an eye out for this one as well. But anything to the upside, I really would like AVGO to break this 186.50. Then I'll probably swing some 195 or 195 or 200 calls on this one for a couple of weeks out. I think that's what kind of aligns with this trend line as well, right? Like if you look into it, like around that 190 zone. This is where the support now becoming resistance around the 196 zone. And once the 196 breaks is something that you can look for to play the upside as well here on AVGO. Keep an eye out for that. Baba, this is a stock that made me money this year. Usually Baba never makes me money. This is a stock that made me money this year. I didn't buy the share, but I think I played the options on this a few months back, and it really paid off. But here, this is the trend line I'm looking for on Baba to break. Once this trend line kind of breaks, I'll be looking for a swing towards the upside intraday as well. So keep an eye out for this trend line here. Um, Anything to the downside, I do see like that 101 retest possibility here on Baba if Trump kind of throws a tantrum again on China about delisting all these ADRs, Chinese ADRs. And that you would want to play it under 108 towards 101 with $100 put. So keep an eye out for that on Baba. But I don't see much downside here for Baba, honestly. So keep an eye out for that. Um, all right, not cat, not coin, Costco. We played this last week, made a huge nice gain. We were talking about this on Friday as well. I think I posted this on the pre-market notes as well. That it is holding really well. Retested that 1,000. Once that 1,000 is broken, this is the trend line that would retest. So 122 to 125 is your target here towards the upside. There is flow on Costco as well with the 1030 calls. I think that's a good bet that you can look for earlier in this week. So keep an eye out for that on Costco. Next one is Carvana. Carvana, where is this? This is where it should be. I should recalculate this. All right. About 220. All right. Oh God, 220. All right, here you go. So what I know Fluid is in one of those calls for a couple of weeks out, and they are probably down right now. I'm not sure. But this is one stock that I'm really liking as well. With the break above 220, can see 236, 245 very, very quickly. Um, Again, relative strength on Friday over other tech stocks. So keep an eye out for this 220 break. Once this two, what happened to Bitcoin? What? Anyway, I was just watching that, like, like we were talking about it when it was at around 85, 200, and now it's like 86. So anyway, 2200, once that, no, sorry, 220 breaks, we can see 236 and 245. I would probably look for a play with Fluid's swing position that she posted on Thursday, and I will be getting into that position as well. So keep an eye out for that on Carvana. Probably play it to the upside here. Next one is Hood. This is another great stock which broke out, retesting that trend line, and I would be looking to play this 45 calls or something like 45 calls few weeks out, or probably 42 calls this week towards the upside here on Hood, or one of the stocks that moves with Bitcoin as well. So keep an eye out for this one. 42 calls is something that I'm really liking. Another chart that I'm liking here in the market to play the upside. I don't see anything to play for the downside on Hood. So keep an eye out for that on Hood. Next one is MSDR is something that we talked about already. All right, Nvidia and then Tesla. I'll wrap up the call with Tesla. Nvidia not looking great. Not a good chart at all. If is this 89, 86? Okay, 89 is a level two. Like I have to draw some levels to the downside. Okay. Anyway, I'll draw some levels to the downside, update the chart, give you give you whatever you want. But under 100 is something that I'm looking for on Nvidia to play the downside. I'm not looking to play Nvidia to the upside here in the short term sense. Next one is PLTR, another stock which looks pretty good to play over 100. Over 100, I would be probably playing the 110 calls here on PLTR, showing some relative strength also in the market with the 9 and 20 also crossing right. Anything under 92, I would not be long PLTR with the 85 puts as a possible play. I would not be playing downside for PLTR as much as I would be interested in playing it to the upside. So keep an eye out for that. Um, Last but not the least, Tesla has earnings this week. I talked to you about how go to the game plan. I talked to you about how people are being positioned um, into um, into these earnings in the mag sevens. They're technically not long. I mean, they are technically long, but then they are doing it by selling puts. That is what is very interesting to me, where they don't mind getting assigned shares at levels that I posted for different stocks, especially for Google and Tesla. And nice little compression that's going on again. An inside day on Friday. I don't know what is going to happen with Tesla after Elon Musk talks. Like he can pump that stock, man. Like I cannot really talk about it, but there is quite a bit of put selling that's happening, and again I will be selling covered calls. We sold covered calls on Tesla twice or once. I kind of forget, but every single time we are touching that 290, we have been selling covered calls. So again, that's the level that I'll be selling covered calls on, but if it breaches this trend line on that particular day that I'm selling covered calls for, I'll probably roll it for another extra week and see what we can do. But this is the trend line that I'll be looking out for to be extremely long on Tesla. But right now the chart is not that great per se. It is definitely weak. I won't be looking for adding any stocks here at all. Our average price is around 309 right now with that covered call or something that we sold. So we'll just lower the cost average for the for our shares. Totally fine. I'll show you how to do that along the way for the next year or so that we hold this stock. I still have my price target at 600 on Tesla, but we'll have to hold it. You just have to hold for that Optimus and robo taxis rolling out, and people believing in the stock again. The brand image of Tesla is kind of damaged right now with all this nonsense that's going politically. I also want to see the short-term trend line. If there's a trend line, oh yeah, there's a short-term trend line there. So after earnings, if we do see that pop over that trend line, probably this trend line is going to be retested. This is a short-term trend line. Don't look at it for actually there is a trend line here as well. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Nice little pennant that it's forming. But if it breaches under, I would be looking for around 185 to 175 to possible targets. 215 is definitely possible under this trend line. 185 to 175 is something that might be possible here on Tesla if this bottom trend line is broken. To the upside, if this upper trend line is broken, we'll be looking for 290 again, where we sell covered calls. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's mostly what I have. If you do have any other questions, do let me know. Post them out in our launch. I will be talking about them again, and we can discuss individual stocks in a much more lengthier fashion in our traders lounge as well. With that, I'll let you go, and I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I'll be live again tomorrow morning, talking to you all with some pre-market notes posted also. Thanks a lot. Have a good rest of your weekend.